So I think most people get mixed up and they think that they have to be somehow this spectacularly special or capable person. And ultimately, I think anybody could do just about anything in this world. You just have to be dedicated to that particular thing. Now, obviously, there are differences in capabilities at the sort of micro scale. You can see it very much so if you're looking at kids, for example, and they're doing various different sports or at different stages of development. But to tease apart the actual effect of are you, good or not good at something, are you capable or not capable at something, it really is very difficult at that stage because they're all at different stages of development in doing something and have different access to different resources. And so to actually tease apart, like, is this person really warranted or good at something? It really is, it's really not, it's not feasible. And so what I want to point out is that everybody can do something. They simply have to keep dedicated to the particular thing and keep working at it. You don't have to be spectacularly talented or whatever, good looking, have all your ducks in a row. You just have to keep working at it and keep pushing towards that thing. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, well, you can't be, Major League Baseball player. Well, you have to look at, not only is this, person talented, you start looking at that they actually dedicated their time. Most people at this point have spent from they were like 4 or 5 years old to when they're 18, 19 years old, dedicated to the craft. And if you do that for that long, you think about how long that actually is to develop the expertise. That's pretty incredible, how long that is and how much effort and time that you actually put into something. So I strongly believe in the power of practice, the power of learning from experience. And experience has to be extremely long, has to be a large amount of experience, not just a little bit over the course of a year. It has to be a decade or more to become very competent at something. And there's lots of things that happen with that, right? And there's lots of reasons why people end up not being a Major League Baseball player, for example. You look at the people that end up becoming very good at something, they have a lot of time on their hands to dedicate towards that. Now, either A, they're sorry about that. I do this with my regular life going on, so sometimes it gets interrupted. All right, so with people sort of getting to the point of becoming really good, they have to have a lot of time available, and not only have a lot of time available, they have to have dedicated significant resources to that. So what is it, significant resources? It's they're giving it attention. They're dedicating, particularly now, a lot of parents, for example, are dedicating lessons and all those kind of things with professionals. And if you look at it, they become spectacularly good at that particular thing. Now, why don't they become a Major League Baseball player, for example? Well, there's lots of different factors, and it's not just because of their skill level, for example. Skill is a complex thing where there is lots of reasons why somebody's skill is higher, right? That they might have been exposed to a coach, for example. sometimes, a lot of times, particular coaches are better than other coaches. A lot of times, it might not be a coach, but maybe their parents have a particular gift, for example, at teaching and coaching and sort of motivating kids to get going. Like, there's a lot of factors that go in that are just not related to what you'd sort of expect, like inherent skill. And if you start accounting for all of those particular factors, and even being around like friends, for example, that all really like to play something and they all push each other, like, there's a lot of factors that go into it. Another one being, if you really want to get good at Major League Baseball these days, it's not enough just to play in the backyard. You have to do all of these travel teams, and all of those travel teams, they require, hotel stays and an awful lot of money. And if you look at all of those things that are being dedicated to it, it is an awful lot of resources that go on, and it's not just because of individual skill, as you might sort of think about it. There's a lot of factors that go on, and you have to realize, like, what that means. What's the implication of this? Is that you have to, you can do a lot of stuff in this world that is really cool, and you simply have to get dedicated towards that particular thing. Now, this also means that a lot of people get locked out of opportunities because they don't have access to those particular opportunities. So for example, if you have a specific, if your kid is female, for example, it's going to be a heck of a lot harder for them to get into Major League Baseball because of different opportunities that they are not given. And a lot of this has to do with just the way that we've sort of set things up over time. And that doesn't mean that, I'm not trying to say that it's morally wrong or right or anything like that. I'm just saying that there's significant differences in terms of the opportunities that people get access to. And so we have to think about those in terms of what's going on. So we have to realize, if you're going to get good at something and then have a competence at something, it's going to take an awful lot of time and resources towards getting there. And that means that everybody can do that, right? It has nothing to do with inherent skill, as we might sort of think about, or maybe it has little to do. There might be a little bit, but there's a lot that goes on. I think the thing with inherent skill, as we might think about it, the key thing with inherent skill is just somebody really liking it naturally, and they want to keep doing that particular thing and keep sort of persisting at it. But it's not what you sort of think about in terms of inherent skill. Now, and then the thing to be also aware about is to know that if you don't get access to those opportunities, it's not necessarily your fault. Or you can change somebody's life a lot if you give them access to opportunities. So, for example, Harvard Business School now, or the University of Harvard, or Harvard University, they allow people free of charge to meet certain requirements to go to Harvard University because it gives them such a jump up. Now, you have to think about all of this and coming together in the sense of, hey, wait a minute, that gives me, if I really want to change things, and I really want to change myself, what does that mean? That means that if you just simply dedicate your time and effort to it, And this is the hard part that I think most people don't realize. They sort of think that they're locked out of opportunities and they can't do something. They simply have to just dedicate an awful lot of time and effort to it and keep doing that over and over and over again until they actually get good at that, and keep taking advantage of these opportunities as they're thrown at them and given at them, and just keep doing that over and over and over again. So here's the thing. Let's say you were good at baseball, for example, but you weren't good enough. But you dedicated your entire life to it. Well, you would have had a lot of great experiences doing something that you'd really like to do. And you'd maybe work in some sort of maybe baseball team, for example, and just really love your experience that you had. So it's key to remember, even if you don't get there, it's a really wonderful experience if you do something that you repeatedly like to do over and over and over again, and sort of focus on that and dedicate your life to that, and encourage each and every one of you to do that. So with that, I just want to say, keep going at it, keep moving forward, and know that you can do this. Just got to repeat over and over and over again.